Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome to another English for Communication class. In today's lesson, we're going to still be focusing on reading. And today we're going to focus on reading for journalism and digital communication. Okay, so this is what we'll learn today. First is reading news texts. How we can identify the purpose, structure, and audience of journalism and digital media articles. Then you learn about the 5W plus 1H framework. These are the basic questions in article writing. These are the 6 key questions to read and extract core new information from news stories. And we'll learn about distinguishing facts versus opinion, how we can distinguish factual claims, attributed opinions, and disguised opinions while we are reading. And lastly, we'll apply critical reading strategies to evaluate source credibility, detect bias, and read media texts actively. So why read journalism text? You are communication students, so journalism must be one of the things that you will learn in communication. Reading news is a communication skill, not just general knowledge. If you're going to be writing news, such as if you're going to have a career in print broadcasting, that means you also have to read news. And reading news is also important in public relations, for example, because you need to read the news to monitor about what the public or the news says about your company. And it is also important if you're working in online media, which is also journalism, but it is now converged to online version or what you read from your phones or from your laptops. So if you practice reading journalism texts, it can build your academic vocabulary. News texts use formal register, specialized terms, and precise attribution language found in academic writing. And it practices reading for specific information. Journalism trains you to locate key facts quickly, a core reading strategy for exam and real-world context. And it also develops critical thinking. Reading news actively, questioning sources and language strengthen your ability to evaluate any text. And it helps you to understand digital communication. Digital media texts follow distinct conventions: SEO headlines, hyperlinks, brevity. Reading them fluently is a professional skill. So I urge you to start reading news articles from now because it will benefit you later when you are for your studies or for your professional life after you graduate from the study of communication. So before we try to understand what is in the articles, we need to understand how the articles are structured. So we need to understand the news text structure. Knowing the structure helps you find information faster when reading. This is called the inverted pyramid, ya, piramida terbalik, ya, of a news article. It is usually written in this format. The first part of the article is usually the lead. This is what you should read first. It usually answers the who, the what, and the when. The second part is the body. This is the part where you have the supporting details, quotes, and context. You can skim this part for specific informations, so you don't need to really read them one by one or word per word. This third part is the background or detail. This is the less essential context. You can read it if you need deeper understanding. And the last part is the kicker. This is the closing quote or forward-looking note. It often contains opinion signals. Yeah, so a news article can have a fact or an opinion. It doesn't have to be all facts, yeah, but when it is all opinions, of course, it's regarded as uh, an opinion article, not really a news article. Because a news article is reporting something factual, but it doesn't have to be all facts. It can have an opinion, but mostly all of it are facts. Okay, so a reading tip is start at the top. Yeah, so can you read the headlines and then read the first paragraph or the lead paragraph? It usually answers your question about what the article is about. In the previous lessons, we learned about active reading strategies that we use before, during, and after reading. Yeah, so we can use that for news text as well. Before reading, we can preview the headline to try to understand what type of story is this. We can check the byline, the source, and the publication date. And we can ask, what do I already know about this topic? And during reading, read the lead carefully. The lead should answer the 5W and 1H questions. The who, what, where, when, why, and how. And underline attribution phrases. Yeah, so attribution means which phrases this attributes to. Jadi disematkan pada siapa gitu ya. Maksudnya seperti itu. Berarti ini biasanya misalkan disematkan pada orang. Yeah, so if there's like said according to, so it's usually states the source, ya sumber, ya what is the source of the article. Jadi sumber atau narasumber dari artikel ini. And flag evaluative or loaded language as you read. Yeah, so we'll learn about this later when we're discussing opinions and facts. And after reading, you can summarize the article in one sentence in your own words, identify what is fact versus opinion versus disguised opinion, and ask again, is the source credible? Is the story balanced? So this is where you evaluate your reading. Okay, so now we're going to learn about the 5W plus 1H framework. I'm sure you've already learned this before, yeah, but we're going to go over it again, where the 5W plus 1H framework is a reading comprehension tools, and news articles must have this framework. Yeah, so a complete news articles must state who is the main actor or source, what happened or what is being reported, when did the event take place, where did it happen, why did it happen, and what caused it, and how did it happen or get resolved. Yeah, so these are the questions that you need to learn or you need to find out from your reading. Okay, so let's practice. Here I have a very short article, yeah. And if you read the article, your university opens new study room for students. The University of Merdeka opened a new study room on Monday, 13th April 2006 to help students prepare for exams. The room is located on the second floor of the main library. According to the head librarian, the study room has 50 seats, free Wi-Fi, and quiet reading areas. Many students visited the room on the first day. The university hopes the new space will support better study habits and reduce crowding in other parts of the library. And so let's apply the framework to the article. So you can identify the who. It should attribute to someone or an entity. Yeah. So in this case, I chose the University of Merdeka. Yeah. If you answered the head librarian, that might be correct as well. Yeah, so it can either be the University of Merdeka or it can also be the head librarian. Yeah, so if you answer that as well, then it's okay. Yeah. And what is being reported? Yeah, so you can have a look at the title as well, Opens New Study Room. So what is being reported? The University of Merdeka opened a new study room. Yeah, when? When did it happen? It happened on Monday, 13th April 2006. And where? The library is in, the study room is in the second floor of main library. And why? They open this study room, yeah, so you can have a look in the text, yeah. First, they open it to help students prepare for exams, yeah. And so what is the problem? What is the problem that is being solved that they have to open the new study room, yeah? So you can either answer like support better study habits or reduce crowding. So maybe the problem is before they're in the exam before the exam started, there are a lot of people who are studying or students are studying in the library. Yeah, so when they are studying in the library becomes crowded, yeah, or packed. So they open a new study room so that students can have a new space to study. Okay, so now you can identify all the elements, yeah, the 5W and 1H, yeah, of the news article. Okay, as I've said before, a news article usually contains facts because they are reporting something. Ya, jadi artikel berita pasti isinya adalah fakta, di mana mereka melaporkan sesuatu yang terjadi, yang itu benar-benar terjadi. Ya, so it shouldn't or most of it should be facts. Ya, but it's okay if in the facts they have opinions. Jadi tidak apa-apa jika di dalam fakta tersebut ada opini dari si wartawannya, ya, karena tadi itu bisa menunjukkan agenda setting dari media tersebut, ya. So it's usual, ya, for news articles to have opinions. Ya, jadi biasa kalau artikel itu ada bagian opini. Ya, of course, they're not all opinions because if it's all opinions, usually it's not claimed as a news article but an opinion article. Yeah, so if you learn in your journalism classroom, there's like opinion article, there's news article, there's feature article, and so forth. Yeah. So when you are reading, it is important for you to be able to distinguish facts versus opinion. And there's also one category, which is it's actually an opinion, but it is disguised. So it's not um, uh, it's not explicitly an opinion, yeah, but you should, if you have a look of or if you read the sentence, you'll find out that it's actually not a fact but an opinion. So what are the examples for that? We'll get to that. Yeah, so I'll explain to you what is fact. Of course, a fact is a verifiable statement backed by evidence, data, documents, named sources, or direct observation. So that means if you have any numbers, if there's a named institution who publish like a report, yeah. There's a deadline, attribution, yeah. So look for numbers, named sources, and attribution markers. So the sources are named. You know exactly who said it, yeah. But an opinion is a clearly attributed personal view, belief, prediction, or attribution. Yeah. So some signal phrases are critics argue. So who are the critics? They don't say who is the critic here. Some economists believe. Who are the economists? Yeah, if it's a fact, then they will state the economist Bambang Brojonegoro, for example, says that blah blah blah. So that's a fact because the journalist interviewed Pak Bambang, and Pak Bambang said his statement, and the journalist quoted. So it's a fact because Pak Bambang said it, yeah. Or if it's direct, and if there's like predict or warn, yeah, usually they are opinion. Yeah, so check the attribution. Is the judgment clearly linked to a named speaker? If it's not, yeah, if they can't name the source, yeah, or the article doesn't name the source, usually it's an opinion, yeah. And it's disguised opinion, yeah. It looks like a fact, but it contains loaded language, selective framing, or hidden judgment with no attribution. So if you find evaluative adjectives, yeah, such as maybe this restaurant is the best. Yeah, so best is an evaluative adjective. Yeah, but if they say this restaurant is the best in Bekasi, so what claims do they have when saying the restaurant is the best in Bekasi? Yeah, there's no source cited, and they sound confident, and there's unmeasurable standard because there's no standard. They just say this is the best, but it doesn't say according to who or what standard. Yeah, so you should ask who decided this is problematic. Can it be measured, or is there a source? Yeah. So here's some tips on spotting disguised opinions while reading. The first one is pause and ask these 4 questions about any sentences that sounds authoritative. That means it may sound credible, but it's not a fact. It's an opinion. Okay. Is there a loaded word? Yeah, so loaded word is something that is heavy ya, jadi kayak berat gitu ya, nggak netral ya. So for example, if problematic, thriving, excessive, impressive, yeah, best, yeah, so that's a loaded word, yeah. These carry hidden judgment. So if it's neutral, it avoids these types of words, yeah. Is there a named source? Yeah. Facts and clear opinions are attributed. Jadi ada sumbernya, jelas ada namanya ya, atribut atau nama. If a claim sounds strong but names nobody, it may be a disguised opinion. Jadi kalau dia membuat suatu claim yang tadi ya, it's very good, it's best ya, but there's no source. Ya, siapa yang bilang gitu ya? So usually that may be a disguised opinion. The third question that you can ask is, can it be measured or verified? If you cannot find a document or number to confirm it, the statement is probably a judgment, not a fact. Yeah, so if there's no numbers, if there's no maybe this restaurant is the best, yeah, because it has a rating of 5 in Google, for example, based on 1,000 reviews. Yeah, so there's numbers there. Yeah, so but if there are no numbers, yeah, so it may be a disguised opinions. Yeah, and who set the standard? Like I said, when you say this restaurant is the best in Bekasi, according to who? Yeah, compared to what? Yeah, so if a sentence assumes a benchmark nobody defined, be skeptical. So here's some examples of fact, opinion, and disguised opinion. Yeah, so examples of facts. The 2003 unemployment rate in New York was 4.1%, or a Reuters report stated a 15% increase in annual profits. So you look for verifiable data, name sources, statistics. Yeah. So if you can see numbers, you can see a Reuters report. So there's data that you can verify. So these are examples of facts. But if you see, for example, Senator Smith believes the current plan is risky. Yeah, so believes, yeah, this is attribution of someone. So this is the opinion of Senator Smith. Our team predicts a significant market correction. Yeah, so you look for a clear attribution, predictions, and evaluations. And this an example of disguised opinion. The sluggish economy continues to cause concern. Sluggish here is a loaded word. Yeah, so according to who? Yeah, so why how can you say that this is sluggish? Yeah, or a reliable source indicates current profits are excessive. Yeah, excessive is also a loaded word. Yeah, and a reliable source. Yeah, who is the reliable source? It's not named. Yeah, so this is a disguised opinion. Okay. Okay, now we move to digital communication. So what's different between print news articles and online news articles? I'm sure now many of you don't read print articles anymore. Yeah, you read news through online channels, yeah, from your social media feed, or if from your browser and so forth. Yeah, digital media texts are designed differently from print. Yeah, so you need to recognize these features, yeah, to make you a stronger reader. The first feature is the headline. Yeah, so different from print news. Yeah, in digital or online media, the headlines are designed for SEO, yes, search engine optimization, and clicks. It may use curiosity gaps or keyword stuffing rather than pure accuracy. Ya, so jadi kalau media digital itu judulnya memang dibuat sedemikian rupa untuk bisa gimana caranya kalau itu akan diambil oleh search engine. Misalnya kalau di Google dia akan muncul di halaman pertama gitu ya. Jadi keyword-keyword mana yang viral atau yang dicari masyarakat itu yang dimasukin ya dibandingkan mungkin dengan isi artikelnya itu sendiri ya. So that means don't rely on the headline alone, always read the lead. Ya, jadi harus baca dulu jasa juga isinya ya, jangan baca headline-nya aja ya. Jadi kalau artikel print ya, artikel cetak mungkin headline-nya memang mencerminkan isi, but it's different ya from online articles. Headline-nya itu memang dibuat supaya dia bisa diklik dan dibaca oleh orang. Oke. Okay? Another feature is the bylines and dates. Yeah, so articles are updated silently online. The dates shown may not reflect when facts were added. Yeah, so you can check the updated on fields and compare multiple sources for breaking news. Ya, jadi karena artikel di online itu bisa diupdate terus gitu ya. Jadi mungkin ada beberapa versi yang telah terbit. Jadi kalian harus tahu gitu ya kalau misalnya dia terbit dalam beberapa versi karena faktanya itu bisa diupdate terus ya. And online articles can contain links and multimedia. Yeah, they contain hyperlinks that you can click on, embedded social posts, and videos that may be part of the text. Yeah, they add context or evidence. So you can follow the key links to evaluate the credibility of sources. The next one are comments and shares. Yeah, so online articles, yeah, they have the feature where a reader can interact. Yeah, so reader reactions below articles are not part of the journalism. They are opinions and should be read separately. Yeah, so you need to distinguish journalistic content from community responses. And it features native advertising. Yeah, so sponsored content may look identical to editorial articles labeled only with a small promoted tags. Yeah, so always check whether the content is editorially independent or whether it is an article, an advertising, ya, atau iklan terselubung. Okay. And you need to know about reading attribution and source language. Yeah. So attribution signals matter to readers. Attribution tells you whose voice is in the text. It is the writer or the source. Yeah. It signals whether a claim is verifiable or someone's view. Yeah. Absent attribution is a red flag. So ask who is making the claim. And strong readers track attribution throughout the whole article. Jadi kalian harus tahu siapa sih sumbernya di dalam artikel ini yang bilang bahwa ini begini-begini bla 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 ya. You need to know who it is attributed to. Okay. So, you need to know about attribution verb register, what the verb tells you as a reader. Yeah, neutral reporting is when they say when the journalists used the words said, stated, announced, told reporters. Yeah, when attribution to a source. Yeah, for example, Bambang Brojonegoro told reporters that the economy is thriving. Yeah, so that is neutral reporting. Yeah, but if the words are claimed, alleged, insisted, maintained, it shows implies doubt. Yeah, so the journalist doesn't really believe what the person or his source is saying. Yeah. But if it's confirmed, explained, noted, pointed out, this is what the journalist wants you to know. So this is positive framing. Yeah. So if Bambang or Purbaya confirm that Indonesia's economy is now growing at a healthy rate, for example. So the journalist wants you to know that it is actually happening and it is a good thing. Yeah, but if the sentence is Purbaya insisted Indonesia's economy is growing at a healthy rate. Yeah, so insisted. So it implies that maybe the journalist doesn't really believe that is the statement from the minister. Yeah. And there's for predictive or evaluative example is warned, yeah, predicted, yeah, projected or argued, yeah. So when you see claimed or alleged, the journalist is signaling that the information is unverified. Yeah, so maybe his source is not someone who can make verifiable claims. Ya, jadi sumbernya itu mungkin bukan seseorang yang bisa memberikan klaim yang kredibel gitu. So instead of saying said yang netral ya, he's saying alleged ya. Jadi kayak misalkan diduga gitu ya. Jadi itu belum pasti karena jurnalisnya sendiri tidak begitu percaya sama apa yang dikatakan oleh sumbernya. Gitu. Okay, so here we come to the review. Yeah, I hope you're still with me and you're not confused. The first one is the text structure in an article. Yeah, so when you read the article, start with the lead, body, tail, and kicker. Yeah, so start reading at the top of the inverted pyramid because the most important information comes first. Yeah, and do active reading. Yeah, preview before reading. Yeah, flag attribution during reading, and summarize and evaluate after you read. And identify the 5W plus 1H. Yeah, who, what, where, when, why, and how as you read. And when you're reading the lead paragraph, yeah, it should answer most of them. Yeah. And look for name sources, attribution verbs, and loaded language to classify statements. Are they facts? Are they opinions? Or are they disguised opinions? Yeah. And when you are digital reading or reading news from your phones, yeah, know that headlines may mislead. Check dates, follow links, and separate editorial content from advertising or from comments. And make note about attribution language. Track who is speaking. Yeah, for example, said is neutral, claimed signals doubt, and no attribution is a red flag. Okay, that's all that I can share for today. I hope that is useful for you. Remember, reading critically means staying curious. Every time you read a news text, ask who wrote this, what evidence do they give, whose voice is included, and whose is left out. So be a critical reader, and I hope and I know that it will benefit you in your life. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.